So are you able to hear the session guideline screen now? Okay, okay. I think the screen got stuck. So this was the previous slide where I was actually explaining about myself, about my skills, my core areas, and my experience. So you can ask questions anytime. So what we do is that in between of the time, we will I will open the session for question and answers. So meantime, you can put your question on the chat window, or you can raise your hand. So I will stop in between, and after explaining 10 or 15 minutes, every 10 or 15 minutes after explaining a topic, I make the session open to the audience so that you can ask the question. So it's very interactive sessions would be having. It's a both side interaction would be having. It's not only that I'm speaking, you will also you need to also contribute by asking questions. The question specific to schedule, I will make now itself clear. We have a multiple schedules. Okay, you can see my number below. Let me highlight it. So this is my number and this is my email address. So your question, if your question is related to schedule or training fee or any other question related to this part, you can drop me a WhatsApp message on this number, or you can also drop me an email. We have a multiple schedule, so it's not like that we are doing it at this time we are doing a demo, so the sessions will be also the same time. It's not like that. We'll have a multiple schedule. One is the 6 a.m. IST, and another batch would be most probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday batch. So what we need at if you are have a question related to schedule, you just drop me a WhatsApp message or drop an email by mentioning that what schedule is available or on which schedule you are available. Then we'll try to fit it in one of the batch. Okay. If you are not speaking and I have given you access for the mic, please make yourself on mute if you are not speaking. So that is the general session guidelines. I will quickly move ahead. So we are going to now training roadmap. I will quickly cover what trainings we are going to provide, what things we are going to cover, and then I will take a pause and I will check what kind of questions you have. Okay, and then I will pick up a one topic and I will try to explain one topic so that you get a feel that how this training is going to be conducted. Just give me a minute. I think one of the participant is not able to hear, so let me reply to him. Okay. So now I will cover the training roadmap, that what are the things we are actually going to cover in this training. So basically this training, let me tell you this training, how we have started it. This training, there is nothing as a product called Simple Logistic. Simple Logistic is not a product. Some people think that we have a Simple Finance as a product, now the Simple Logistic as a product, or Simple Logistic as a module. It's not a module, or neither it's a product. Simple Logistic, you know, the name came into the famous earlier. SAP tried to did their simplification with the ECC, and they put it a component called Simple Finance. Then after Simple Finance, they directly switched to S4 HANA. So S4 HANA is a product, and Simple Logistics is just a name. Okay, so we people was thinking that after Simple Finance, Simple Logistics will come. But what came after Simple Finance, now we have a single product which is called S4 HANA, which includes all of the modules. So what we did, we used the same terminology as the Simple Logistics because it's popular in the market, and we created a course around it. So our course, which we have created, I have handpicked the topics which is required um, in a real-time project. When you're doing a real-time project of SAP S4 HANA for a logistic consultants, what they need to do, or what they need to learn. So that topics has been handpicked and we have put it together here, so that these topics will help you to clear the certifications, as well as it will also help you to go ahead in the projects. You will be able to pick SAP S4 HANA projects. You will be able to go for SAP S4 HANA interviews if you want to attempt for, and it will give you that much knowledge that you can talk on any topic of SAP S4 HANA. So by thinking of that, we have handpicked the topics, and basically we have selected three modules in it. We have selected SD, and PP. We are not covering everything in this module. What we are covering in this training is delta. So delta of SD, and PP plus S4 HANA Basics, which is called, it's not basic S4 HANA, we call it as a solution architect. I will tell you that what comes under the solution architect. To become a S4 HANA solution architect, what you need to do, plus HANA Basics. HANA Basics is also essential because it is the question has been asked in the multiple certification exam, and everything is based on the HANA. The HANA name is itself is there. So at least you should be able to tell that what is HANA, what kind of different features it has. So that is what training we have created. It's not exactly replicated to any of the certification code or any of the curriculum which SAP has. It's based on our experience which we have done, and I have trained on this training for more than 1,000 consultants. I have already trained more than 1,000 logistics consultant I have trained in last 1.5 years on these trainings. So our first topic will be, which will be spending the three, or I can say 2 or 3 big sessions, is the basics of HANA. In the basics of HANA, we started from very scratch. Even though you don't know anything about HANA, any ABC of about HANA, no need to worry. Only prerequisite for this training is you should be knowing any one of the ECC module, ECC logistics module. Either you should know, or SD you should know, or PP. Not all of three, or if one of this module, you know the basics of one of these modules, you're good to go ahead with SAP S4 HANA Simple Logistics training. So the first topic would be basics of HANA, where we'll be covering that what is a HANA, what kind of capabilities HANA has, why SAP has built up the HANA as a different database. There are so many database was there, why SAP specifically built up this database. So that all basics will be discussing in this module. So I am getting some of the question on the chat window. I am parking them for now. So once I cover this part of our basic roadmap, then I will open it for the questions. I will try to answer. Meantime, you can raise your hand and you can type your question on the chat window. So basics of HANA, HANA as a database, what do it mean? What kind of capability it has? What is HANA architecture? What's SAP journey to build HANA, and what SAP's journey to build SAP S4 HANA? So we'll clearly differentiate what is HANA, what is S4 HANA. In market, we have seen people has a lot of confusion between HANA, S4 HANA, suite on HANA, then simple finance, simple logistics, central finance, and there are also different products are available. So SAP has done a very neat and clean journey, a step-by-step journey where they have introduced these different products, and these all products serves a different scenario and serves a different business benefits. So we will be making sure that you know that what are the difference between all of these products and what do they mean. So that all parts will be covered here, and what are the motivation factor for SAP S4 HANA. We also go into the HANA Studio basics, not in the detail, but we will be touching on the HANA Studio basic. We'll also provide you HANA Studio Access also. We include this because it's a part of SAP S4 HANA Solution Architect. So we'll also be touching base on the HANA Studio, that what is HANA Studio and what a functional consultant. Our training is more relevant to a functional consultants, solution architects, team leads, or managers. So what these guys can do with the HANA Studio will do that. Basics of data model changes. What kind of business case can be for HANA? People are still not able to answer that what business benefits can come from HANA or SAP S4 HANA. So you should make sure that after this training, you should be able to clearly identify if a client wants to move from ECC to S4 HANA, you should be clearly able to explain him that what kind of benefits is going to do. So we'll be discussing some of the business cases where after adopting to HANA, the benefits has been taken. We'll also explain what is a sidecar scenario. Here, HANA as a sidecar. Second part we'll be covering is S4 HANA Solution Architect. In first part, if you want to know the system access, in the system we would be going through in this HANA Studio would be our system. This is little bit more on the theory, but it would be very interesting topics, and the way we even teach the theoretical part also, it's very interactive. It's a whiteboard teaching. It's not like presentation is going on and I'm speaking. It would not be like that kind of teaching. So HANA Studio would be our system during this session, which we will be going through it. Then solution architect. In the solution architect, there is a lot of things which is common for all of the consultants, whoever is coming for SAP S4 HANA, even a finance consultant need to know that. So there are the different deployment path, different deployment strategies are there. We have a conversion paths. So conversion is totally a new kind of methodology is there, where basically we'll be converting into ECC to S4 HANA. So this has a lot of steps included in this. So this any solution architect need to have a detailed understanding on it. It has not never been done before in any of the systems in within the SAP, where one system would be completely converting into S4 HANA. Okay, this is not a simple migration. People have a lot of misconcept that what is a conversion. They think that it would be in a one step. Although SAP say it in a one step, but it doesn't happen in one step. It's a long journey. Conversion have a multiple steps, and it's not that easy at it seems. So we will be discussing about the detail in the conversion steps, what steps we need to do, what are the challenges, and how you can identify that the client who is coming is a right customer for conversion or a greenfield project. So all of the things we'll be explaining: the greenfield implementation, conversions, what is the difference between them, how a step-by-step approach can be taken to go ahead with SAP S4 HANA, or you can directly go with the one-step approach, direct approaching to SAP S4 HANA. All of this we'll be discussing during this session. And the most important part, we'll also be discussing here the SAP Activate methodology. So this is for people who are kind of managers who are interested to do certification on Activate. Activate has a separate certification who are interested to do that certification. So this all will be important for them. Agile methodology, how agile methodology can be put it for SAP S4 HANA projects. That also we'll discuss in detail. We'll also discuss about what is a sidecar, central finance scenarios, or what is a consolidation scenarios. we'll discuss that what we need to do, what kind of paths we need to select, how to use the activate methodology, what are the rapid deployment solutions are there, how SAP can help us. There are, so here we will switch in this part from system perspective. We'll log in into the S4 HANA 1709. We'll be using this system, and within the activate methodology there are different tools available. For guided configurations is available, we'll check that. And there are other tools for the business process models are also available, so we'll be checking all of these things from the system. And we'll also talk about in general that how a simplification list can be used, or what is the purpose of the simplification list. There's also a lot of miscommunication about a simplification list. What is a simplification list, for what purpose we need to use, for what purpose we need not to use. People think that if they want to know SAP S4 HANA functionality, simplification list is the right document. It's not exactly right. Simplification list is only used for the conversion project, which guides you that what steps you need to take if you are doing a conversions for the different modules, and between the modules for the different subtopics, what steps you need to do. So we'll discuss this in detail in our topics. So this is S4 HANA Solution Architect. Suppose that we'll move into the S4 HANA migration tools and user interfaces. In user migration tools, we'll discuss briefly about the BODS, how the BODS can be used, but our major topic would be HANA Migration Cockpit, which is a new cockpit which need to be used, which in future it will replace LSMW. In current cases, we use both LSMW and HANA Migration Cockpit. BODS is the another part which we can use. And the major part here would be Fiori. Fiori is a user interface change. We make sure you understand it clearly, and we spend around 2 to 3 specific sessions on the Fiori, where we have selectively selected the Fiori topics, which is a functional consultant should be knowing for any implementation. Sorry. So we cover end-to-end cycle and step for the Fiori deployment, or how to activate a Fiori application. What is the concept of catalog and business groups? How you can create a catalog, how you can create a business groups, how embedded analytics can be used in the Fiori. What is the concept of Fiori library? How we need to use Fiori library. We'll be discussing in detail in this chapters. Now, the people who are interested in the processes, okay, that what is the changing in the processes, what earlier the blue screens was there, the transaction, production order, sales order, purchase order, what are the things is getting changed there. This starts from here, which is the master data simplification. Here we'll be discussing the master data simplification. The major part is the business partner, CVIs, and how this concept need to be handled during conversion. So we spend almost 2 sessions specifically on the business partner to make you understand all of the configurations of business partner, what CVI customization we need to do, uh, and how to create a business partner with the Fiori application. So everything is covered in this master data simplification. Customer vendor integration, this is CVI, customer vendor integration, we cover in detail. Then we have put it one topic selectively, which is advanced planning. So this is the advanced planning topic, which is now getting created into SAP S4 HANA because of multiple tools which was earlier there in APO. Okay, now it's coming in ECC. So earlier what we are having, we were sorry, let me go into the presentation mode. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm back. So what was the concept earlier was there? Earlier we were having a system, APO system. APO system were having a DP, SNP, then your PPDS, then AAT, then your GATP, sorry. Now this component SAP has a different roadmap, so it is putting into the different boxes. What is coming in S4 HANA, we'll be having a detailed discussion. I'm just showing that what comes under the advanced planning. This GATP in future will be replaced by AATP. Okay, so AATP is coming into the new picture, which has an advanced capability to do the back order processing. So that we have covered here. Okay, then this PPDS also component is coming in SAP S4 HANA. So we have a basics of PPDS we have included here. Other than that, a lot of things is getting improved as a planning perspective, which is your MRP engine, your product allocations is also getting improved. So there is a new concept which is Ddmrp. So we have also put it at Ddmrp here, and we spend almost 1 to 2 sessions on Ddmrp to discuss it in detail. So ATP related MRP simplification, which is big simplification related to MRP area and MRP live. This all things we have clubbed it together and we have put it under DD under advanced planning, which will also have product allocation, back order, release for delivery. This will be part of the advanced planning which we'll be discussing. Then shop floor control and inventory management will be discussing that what are the processes are there within the shop floor control, what kind of the things, how we need to do a production process cycle by using a Fiori application. And there's for production there's a little change. So most of the change when you talk about PP is in the planning side. So if you will see the previous slide, it covers the 70 to 80% part which we cover in SAP S4 HANA for PP, because most of the changes right now is there for planning. There are new applications there for to manage your demand, to manage your planned independent requirements. There are new applications there. Okay, very interactive applications we'll be discussing here. A lot of analytical, not a lot if you compare to SD and MM, but few analytical application also has been given for production planning, that also will be covering here. And here in this part, we'll be covering everything related to the inventory management change. What are the data model related changes are there? We'll be covering here. How to do a quick stock transfer by using Fiori applications, how to manage stocks, different analytical applications related to stocks, everything will be covering here in this part. So by this, we have covered the PP part here, and then we will move ahead. Now we'll be covering order to cash. Order to cash also will be having some things which would be common with the MM also. So order to cash has a very good smart business applications are there which help you to do your order to cash cycle very frequently, very swiftly with the Fiori applications. Okay, that we will be discussing in this order to cash. So we'll discuss the whole process of order to cash, that how order to cash happen, end-to-end process, and in the end-to-end process, in each step, what are the simplifications are there? What are the changes are there? If you said that sales order creation, what is the changes? If you say quotation, what is the changes? If you say the doing a goods issue, what is the changes? For each steps, we discuss that what are the delta things are there. And we also discuss here the data model changes related to sales and what are the analytical applications available for sales. Three area which is specifically changing is we are having a new output management now with BRF plus. This is common for the multiple. This is a centralized central component basically, which will also impact your SD, MM, inventory management, and in future it will also come to the finance. So it is impacting multiple areas. So we'll also discuss how the new output management need to be done, how to switch to new output management, what is the implications if we switch, and what are the customization we need to do to activate the new output management. That we'll be discussing here in this session. Then rebate is replaced by the settlement management. Here we'll be discussing about the settlement management, which is again a common area between SD and MM. And credit management is also changing. It is going into the FSCM module. So that also will discuss that what are the things is changing for credit management. This is the procure to pay. That would be our last cycle. We'll be discussing the procure to pay cycle end to end. That what is the procure to pay cycle, the same way we have discussed the order to cash cycle, and what are the changes there in procure to pay cycle. We specifically discuss here that the procurement will give you the full solution with combination of your Ariba and S4 HANA. So S4 HANA plus Ariba will give you the full procurement solution, full sourcing solution. So we cover what are the things, what are the features will be there in S4 HANA, and what are the features would be there in Ariba. So that would be covered here. Then we have a new self-service procurement introduced that will be covering. Then we have a procurement cycle with Fiori applications. Then here we have a category management. That is a new concept of classify your suppliers. That also we'll discuss in this chapter. There are new workflows by which we can do a PO approval, PR approval, or your invoice approvals. So this new workflows can be initiated from the Fiori application. There are new Fiori application which is recently introduced with 1709. So we'll be covering here. Activity management is also new part in the sourcing. We'll also cover the activity management. Then supplier evaluation with questionnaire will cover in detail what customization require, how you can create questions and how you can create section in the questions, and then how you can create questionnaire and how it can be generated to the scores, and how scores can be seen in the analytics, and how analytics can help you to make decision. We'll be discussing in this topic. There are a lot of procurement. Procurement is sourcing is having a huge number of analytical applications. So all analytical applications will be discussing it here. So that is our overall agenda, which basically cover high level. If you have seen, it covers your SD delta, it covers your MM delta, it covers your planning delta and shop floor control. That are the four key things, plus all of your generic things related to your material masters, your generic SAP S4 HANA, S4 HANA Basics, and HANA Basics this course will be covering. By explaining this, I will take a quick pause here and I will check if you guys have any question you can ask now. You can raise your hand, I will unmute you, or I can go through the chat window. I will read some of the questions from there and I will try to answer them. Let me check if any hands are raised. There's a hand raise functionality is there. You can check, you can raise your hand, and based on the hand raised, I will unmute you. Then you would be able to ask your questions. We have a Kaushik.
Hey, hi Parminder.
Hi, Kaushik.
So have you included new VC concept in 1709?
Yeah, 1709 has a new VC concept, but we have not included it so far in our training. I did not get any chance to work on project which we have used S4 HANA new VC. So that's why it's right now it is not included in our course content.
But DDR is there, right? Demand driven replacement.
Ddmrp is there, and I will also try, if time permits, I will just try to explain in brief what is Ddmrp. I will select that topic and I will try to explain. Ddmrp we cover in detail. I can quickly show you our previous session that where we have explained Ddmrp in detail. Let me show you. So we use this OneNote. In OneNote, we'll be having all of the screenshots which we have. So you can see, if you can see my screen, are you able to see it now? So this is a
Yes.
DDMRP we have included in
Yes.
last session. So we explain in detail what is a DDMRP, what are the concept, how DDMRP is different than MRP, normal MRP, which cases it
Okay.
will help business, and for which kind of materials DDMRP need to be selected. So we cover that in detail. We also go into the system and we check. Let me also show you some screenshot from system. So this is from our, each session we'll be having this OneNote. I explain most of the things on the by writing on the screens rather than using a presentations. So you can see here that what are the customization you require to do the DDMRP is shown here. Then we have shown here that these are the applications which you will be required. So with the sequence, which application you need to run first, and what are the things you need to do in the DDMRP we have explained here.
So you have basically used the Fury tiles for the DDMRP, right?
You need to
For
use
the
Fury tiles
different.
only. There's no another option. So the new innovations come with the Fury kind of interfaces only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have to use, if you want to use DDMRP, you will have to use Fury.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Sure. I'm going to Gaurav. Gaurav, I
Yeah,
have unmuted you.
yeah, hi, Parminder. Just want to check. I came across that EWM and transport management system is also part of S4 HANA now. So will we be going through them or any overview?
We don't cover EWM and TM, the both part we don't cover. So that's why we specifically did only SD, PP, and MM part we have done. EWM, the little bit part we cover is just the overview that what kind of options we have now. Earlier only WM was there, now we have a EWM which is coming into the SAP S4 HANA. So what kind of migration options we have, what kind of cases we need to go for EWM, for what kind of cases we need to go to WM. So we have one topic where we cover in 15 minutes that part, but not beyond that. TM, nothing has been included in our training.
Okay,
But if you
thanks.
want, I can include it for 10 minutes so that just to give you overview, but I would not be able to give you more than that because even I don't have experience working on those modules.
No, I understand. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Hey, Rajesh.
Hey, Parminder. How this course going to be, helpful for a certification? Are you going to cover all modules
Yeah,
regarding
so that's good.
certification?
You have asked this question. So let me show you. We have created one note for certification because most of the people have, not most, many people have questions related to certification, right? So we have created a specific note for certification. Let me take you through. So here in this note, we have covered all of the details which is required for certification. Okay, so what kind of different certifications are available, what we will be covering, how our training will be helping to do go ahead with the certification. So that thing we have covered here.
I mean, like your training is going to cover those parts.
Yeah, just give me a minute, I will explain. Are you able to see my screen now, the certification note?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So here basically the first thing I will take you in detail that how you can register for the certification. Okay, and what steps are required. Just to make just to tell you, there is a recent change happen. If you are from MENA region, which is Middle East and North Africa, you will have to have a training from a SAP authorized vendor. Then only you will be able to go for certification. That is recently changed 2 months back. If you are from MENA, if you are from Middle East and North Africa, after doing this training, you will not be able to sit for the certification exam. You will have to go for expensive trainings which is given by SAP. That is only for MENA, Middle East and North Africa. Rest all people would be, the certification is open. You will be able to go for certification. People from India, there is a one constraint is there that you need to provide a HR letter, which will be saying that you are working in the same organization for 1 year and you are having a working experience on SAP. That's what you need to provide. People from India, but other from the other parts, there is no constraint. You can simply go ahead and book your certification and sit. Now, what SAP has done that when initially we started this training and the information which SAP has provided, it was looking like there would be a Delta certifications. Okay, but there is no Delta certification. There is a proper SAP S4 HANA MM, ST, and PP certification. So this is a link for MM certification. And these are the books which you need to go through for MM certification. So here, if you will find it here, actually these are the 4 books. It comes with part 1 and part 2. These are the 4 books which comes from ECC. Okay, and these are the new books for S4 HANA. So if you want to clear a MM certification, what you need to do, you need to do 4 plus 3 is equal to 7 books you need to read. Our training cover only these 3 books, S4 PR1, S4 H01, and S4 LG1. So this is, we said that our training cover 50% of this certification. Rest 50% you need to revise. We provide these books. These books will be providing. You need to go through them, and then after reading that, you need to revise your basics, and then you will be able to give this certification. Okay,
Right.
same is there for SD certification. We cover the 50% of the part. The 3 books which we cover is mentioned on the top, new books. Same is there with the PP. We cover the 50% of the part, which is S4 HANA. The new books are mentioned at the top, which we will be covering in this training. Then apart from this, we also cover there's a one part is this business process integration. This is for the people who is working for more than 10 years and has worked on the different kind of modules. You can try that. This is a business process integration. It includes all of the modules of S4 HANA. Then there is one solution architect certification which covers S4H100, S4H01. That one our training covers 100%. So after having this training, we covered everything from these 2 books, S4H100 and S4H01. You would be able to sit for this certification. And for the Activate also, our training covers the 100%. ACT 100 and ACT 200 books will be providing, and we also provide all of the knowledge related to Activate methodology so that you can clear this certification. So in total, you will say there's a 5 plus 1, 6 certifications are there, and the certification hub access also comes for a 6 certification. With 1 access, you can clear the 6 certifications. So these are the certifications which you can go through, and we will be providing you books. For some of the exam also we have dumps, but we don't recommend to go through the dumps because we should earn our exam by going through the books. If you go through the books, you will be having enough knowledge and it will help you in the projects. Simply going through dumps also you can clear the certification, but it will not benefit you in the long term. I hope the certification question is answered.
Yeah, and one thing, you are talking about Ddmrp before this, right? And
Yes.
you showed us Fiori tiles, and you said the Fiori has the new change. But as far as what I'm working into, I just know SAP GUI is the replication of Fiori. Like screens from SAP are called over there in Fiori. Is there any other changes in Fiori, like that we can't see in SAP GUI?
Yes, this is a huge number of changes. So let's say the Ddmrp applications which we have shown you, that is a typically Fiori applications which you need to go through the Fiori only. All of the new innovation which is coming, all of the new innovation is coming through Fiori. We'll also go through into the back order processing. Let me also give you a glimpse of the system to show you. It is reconnecting. So we will be providing you, okay. We will be providing you access to this system. We have a ECC with SLT. 1610 IDS and 1709. This is the 1709 system I have logged in with. So this is your GUI. Okay, so GUI looks same. There would be some additional configuration can be here in the SPRO node in GUI. There can be some additional transactions can be there. Okay, but the look and feel wise it looks same. So if you will see here, they have added an advanced planning node here, which covers the all advanced planning. The same way for AATP, also they have added a new node here, which we can do the configuration from here. But a lot of things are there which only comes with Fiori. I think I have logged in into the Fiori. So this is my Fiori. So let's say I type it here. So will be, okay, I need to relog in. So this all access you will be having for 2 months if you join this training. So all of the back processing, if you want to activate the new back order processing, you need to go ahead with this. I think I need to rejoin this. So this is your Fiori Launchpad screen, which will be appearing, and it will be having multiple applications. So the Ddmrp application, which I was showing you. Let me show you that again. So this is demand replenishment. So these are the applications. These applications, you need to access it through Fiori itself. There is no GUI in this. Same way with the back order processing, I will show you how to create a segment, how to create a variant. That is a customization of back order processing to create a segment and a variant. That also happen only with the Fiori applications. There is no GUI configuration given for that. So this is configure BOP segment, configure BOP variant. So this all happens through the Fiori applications only. Okay, let me check what other questions we have. I don't see any other hand raised. I have one hand from Krishna. Yeah, Krishna. Krishna, I have unmuted you. So if you have any question, you can ask now.
Hello, can you hear
Krishna.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I could see that you captured one notes, and will you be sharing those notes to us? I mean, after the training session or something like that. I mean, recording
Yes.
sessions.
Yes. So all of the
Okay.
recordings will be shared with you, and this OneNote
Okay.
will be shared with you. So let's say I give you example. This is our May batch, which we have recently done. So all of the sessions, whatever the explanation I do, I saved it in this OneNote. All of the screenshots of the explanation would be
Yeah,
here.
this is very nice actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be shared with you. Apart from that, whatever, there's a lot of information available on the different places. So this is
Okay.
links we have created. So you need to refer to the different links, right? So everything we have created here, whatever the links you are required, we have put it here. So you can access to it.
Okay.
The T codes also, we have mentioned it here. So that, when you are doing the training, you can concentrate on getting the training rather than, noting down the things. So whatever the
Okay.
things need to be noted down, we'll be doing for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Shyam, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Parminder, Shyam here. Just a question, because I think some of the links here are directly the SAP links, right? I mean, the one that you're sharing now. So these we understand, okay, I mean, those are the SAP, I mean, directly going to the SAP site. But the one that you're talking about, so is it possible to download it, or is it only a read-only kind of document?
And these documents, the session notes, these ones.
Yeah, yeah.
These basically, I give the live access to you. So I will be putting it as a shared link. Okay, and then that link, you need to have internet access. Then you would be able to, as soon as I mention something here, it would be live access. You would be able to see in your web screen, this SAP note will be getting updated. So I will give you a link. As soon as you will click on the link, you will have access to all of this information real time. So any changes I
Okay.
do, immediately it will appear there.
Yeah, and then this access will be for how long? I mean,
This access, this generally we say it will be there for 1 year, but whatever the links we have created so far, we have not removed any of the access. So it will be there. I have not removed for anyone the access for this.
okay. And for the video recordings, the session recordings as well, it will be the
Video
same
recordings,
process,
the
or
access would be there for 6 months.
okay.
Yeah, that is
So
specific.
so it's not possible to download them for
No, so
review. I
video
mean,
recordings is not
download.
downloadable. You need to stream them and go through them in the live streaming, and the access would be there for 6 months.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Sham. Going to F. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly.
Okay. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, awesome. The first question is it has to do with the APU features. Are you saying that all the features existing on the current APU on ECC will be available on the S4?
No, no, I have not said that. I have said that the two features. One is the GATP. GATP also currently it is not 100% replicated to AATP. AATP by 2020 it would be able to replace GATP. So GATP
Oh,
on the roadmap will be replaced by AATP in S4 HANA. PPDS will come in S4 HANA. It already come from 1610 version. Rest of the components, the DP, demand planning, will go to IBP, and SNP will also go to IBP.
okay, cool. Then my next question is concerning the exams, right? You mentioned something about Middle East and North Africa. I'm calling from Nigeria. Does this apply to me too?
Okay, so Nigeria is come in the West Africa, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't apply for you.
Okay. And for your training, what was the cost implication and the duration? Are you going to mention that later on?
Yeah, so for the cost and other thing, I have mentioned on the this web, I have mentioned my email address and the contact number, so you can send me email. I will reply on that. The duration would be the 2 months. It would be 2 months duration. If we have some cancellation due to my travel plan in between, it can last to 2.5 months. But we try to cover this training in 2 months. We have different batches. One is a morning 6 a.m. batch, which is going to start from next week, and even the another batch which would be on the weekend, that will also be on the next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days it would be. So what you can do is that you can send me an email or you can send a message on this number, and then I would be replying back telling you that what in which schedule you can fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Crystal. Well, I would just like to ask again, right? For this training, you are covering SD, MM, and PP, right?
Right.
Okay, so for instance, if I'm an SD consultant, I can attend the trade. That's what it means, right?
Sorry, what is the question? I did not get it.
I said that, for instance, if currently I'm working as an SD consultant, even though I specialize in the 3 modules, but I'm just saying that, for instance, if I am an SD consultant, will I be able to attend the training for the 3 modules?
Yeah, so you will see here, that if you are SD consultant, the 80% of the this curriculum which we have mentioned, you would be very comfortably, you will be able to go through it. Rest 20 to 30% would be there, which is only specific for MM or only specific for PP. So what we do is that whenever I pick a topic, let's say MRP, I pick it up. You are SD consultant, you don't know the MRP. So first I would be explaining what is MRP, what function it does. Then I go to the delta part. So I make sure that whatever the topic I pick, if I pick AATP, first I will be telling you what is the ATP, advanced available to promise, what it does. Then I switch to AATP. So that makes sure that you understand if the topic is new for you. You understand first the basics, then you understand what is the things changing. So that we make sure of.
Okay, cool. Good. Thanks.
Okay, sure. I will quickly go through the questions which is there in the chat window because I don't see any of the hand raised. Shekhar has one of the question is application packaging team. Basically, the one of the logistics module basic is required. So if you don't have any of the basic module knowledge, it would be very difficult for you to cop up. Yeah, so basic knowledge is required for any one logistic module. Yeah, it is definitely possible, Shekhar, to parallelly learn it, but it will always a hard path. It's not that easy path, but if you have a commitment and if you want to learn, definitely you can learn. There is nothing to stop you. It's not like a rocket science which you can never learn. You can always learn that. Let me quickly check if any of the PM, I have a question, PM module, plant maintenance, no. PM module we don't cover in this training. I have a question from Krishna. Yeah, that I have already answered related to OneNote. I'm quickly going through the questions, so if any of the question which is not answered, I will try to answer now. One of the question from Santosh that no knowledge on SAP. Can you go directly this? If you don't, Santosh, if you don't have any knowledge on SAP, I would recommend you to go for first some basic course. Once you have basics implemented, then you can come this course. So this week get it as an advanced course where basically we'll be directly talking about the delta of SD or delta of MM without talking about all of the customizations in SD or MM. So it's always advisable first you go through the basic course, then you take this kind of course. Question from Karthik related to Ariba. Ariba we don't cover in detail. What we cover here to tell you that some of the functions are related to sourcing are there in Ariba. Some is there in S4 HANA. So we tell you that which features will be there in S4 HANA and which advanced feature if you want to switch would be available in Ariba. That's what we cover, not beyond that. Yes, there's a question related to cloud from Karthik. Yes, Karthik, we have one topic related to the cloud. Let me quickly show you here in one of our session. So this is the cloud technology in the fourth session we have covered. So we have covered in detail what is cloud strategy, what is HANA Cloud Services, what are the different cloud options which we have. So we cover that in detail. What is HANA Enterprise Cloud and what are the difference between the different cloud strategies will be covered in detail. This training is based on on-premise, not on cloud. So public cloud is a different product. This is the on-premise 1709 training. EWM TM I have also already answered. Ddmrp PM I have already answered. So I have a question. What is a sidecar? Can you provide some info? So let's take this topic. There's a question from Shyam that what is a sidecar, because in topic we have mentioned. So what I would be doing, I will try to explain you that what is a sidecar scenario. So by this explanation, you will also try to get it that when we explain the things, how do we explain? Okay, so that you can get a gist or you can get a flavor that how this training going to happen. So I will go through in this one. I will create a new page here. So I'm taking this topic which Shyam has mentioned in the question window, that what is a sidecar. So I'm trying to explain you here what is a sidecar scenario and how does it works. So what happens when SAP initially launched, they launched HANA as a database. HANA was initially launched as a database. Okay, that at that time, you know that you was not having a ECC on HANA or S4 HANA, no simplification was there. I'm talking about year around 2010 and 2011. They started this journey when they launched HANA as a database. It's an in-memory database. We will also discuss about that what is an in-memory database, how it is different than the normal database. That part also we will cover. So when they launch this HANA as in-memory database, then the questions come that how to utilize this HANA. Okay, we know that it has immense computing power. It can do the calculations very fast. It can give the results. It can give us the result very fast. But the question comes that how we can use for the existing SAP customers. Then SAP come with the scenario which is called sidecar. In sidecar scenario, it is another word is there, HANA Live. It is generally implemented with HANA Live. HANA Live is another product. We'll discuss in detail what is a HANA Live, but let me first explain what is a sidecar. So in this what happened that we are having our ECC box. Okay, and then we are having our HANA database. This is my HANA DB. The ECC box is running on any X database. Now the thing is that we said, okay, HANA can do the immense calculation and other part it can do. So the question comes, can we use that to do the analytics on HANA? Okay, without disturbing our ECC. Without disturbing our ECC, can we use HANA and we do our reporting on HANA, our all analytics we do for HANA? Can we do that? Answer to that question is the sidecar scenario. Why it is called sidecar? Because you know that in this scenario, if you will see, this is my main car. All of my transactions will be happening here. I'm not disturbing this my main car. Without disturbing this main car, I'm going to utilize here HANA DB. On top of that, there will be HANA Live. HANA Live is nothing but data models, or you can see the reports provided by SAP out of box, which use ECC data model. Sorry. So what I will be doing in this scenario, I will be connecting from this system, this ECC system. I will be connecting it with another component which is called SLT. And I will be bringing the data into the HANA database. So what I will be doing, I will be bringing all of my tables which is required. So let's say we want to do here the MM or the procurement related analytical reportings we want to do. Okay, we want to see the graphs and another part. So for that, HANA Live will be telling us, HANA Live also tells us that what kind of tables we need to bring. So it will tell us that you need to bring EKKO table, you need to bring EKPO table, you need to bring your MARA table. So these kind of tables you need to bring. So by using SLT, I will be bringing these tables from this ECC system, and it will be stored here in HANA database in the same data model structure. And this integration would be, this SLT integration would be a real time. It is not like your BW where the data come with 1 day of delay. As soon as any transaction is posted in this system, it will get replicated into your HANA database system. So with SLT, HANA database will be having all of this table data, and HANA Live is basically the data models which will use this data, and then we need to connect this with the another component. We need to connect this with the BI tools. One of the example of the BI tool you can connect with Lumira, and you can get your all graphs in the Lumira, okay, by this scenario. So what we have done, without disturbing our this main car here, we generated a sidecar which will provide us the reporting, or which will provide us the analytics. Okay, so that's why these scenarios are called sidecar, whereby using HANA database, HANA Live, SLT and BI tool, we would be able to generate analytical reportings by using even our ECC systems. So that the whole scenario is called the sidecar scenario. Shyam, is that answer your question?
Yes, Parminder. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So this is the way, when you can say it's a theoretical topic, but we explain it in a very interactive way. We don't use any kind of, we have a lengthy 280 pages presentation, which is for the reference, and that presentation also will be given to you in a PDF format. Okay, but we don't go through the slides. We explain on the whiteboard. I can see some of the hands are raised from Rajesh and Krishna. Do you have any further question, Rajesh or Krishna? Okay, no, we don't have any other question. Let me also check if.
Reminder, this is Kaushik here.
Yeah, Kaushik.
So your course topics will be covered for all the 3 deployment options, or what?
So we basically we cover all of the 3 deployment options to make you understand what are the 3 different deployment option, how it works in each of the deployment options, what different actions we need to take as a functional consultant. So that thing we will be covering and explaining to you.
Like for Greenfield, what will be the extra features or extra steps you need to more focus, and what about the conversion projects? If you are on conversion projects, so what steps you have to follow, like that?
Yes, right. So we cover that if the conversion project is there, what we need to do. If it is a greenfield project, what we need to do, what things we need to take care of. So that kind of things we cover. So if I go through here, this is S4 HANA scenarios. I think that this scenarios I have already shown you, and this is a simplification list and the conversion, that how the adoption path should be there. Okay, and what kind of different steps would be there, what we need to do in the each step. Okay, so that all things will be covering here in these topics. What is a maintenance planner, what maintenance planner will be doing in pre-checks, what we need to do. So all this we cover.
Because I worked in one of the conversion projects internally, that was not client specific, that was internal project, in fact. So I have bit knowledge about the conversion projects. What are the WBS elements, and how to what notes you have to follow for that particular WBS elements, and what prerequisites you have to taken care of, right?
Right. So that's good. If you have that, that knowledge, would be you would be help. You would be able to get these things very quickly. what I would be
Yes.
explaining, and you would also help to enrich other people's knowledge.
Right, Parminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Parminder.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me quickly check if there's any new question on the chat window. So do you show scenarios in the system? Yes, we do show scenario in the system. So let me take a quick scenario, although this scenario takes a huge time, but I will take this topic and I will explain this topic for 15 minutes. The topic is MRP and the Ddmrp. Okay, I will explain for 10 minutes that very basic. I will explain. The topic itself require around 2 to 3 hours. But in 15 minutes, I will try to explain what is Ddmrp, and then I will also show you that how it need to be done in the system, and what kind of system configuration need to be done through the GUI or through the GUI or through the Fiori screens.
So, Parminder, one more question. So, Fury configuration will be also covered in your session?
So basically, Fiori configuration, I will explain you end to end how a Fiori lifecycle need to happen, starting from selecting a Fiori application, getting it activated, creating a new roles for it, how to create catalog, business group. I will explain the whole end-to-end life cycle for it. Fiori
Even creation of
configurations.
the new, even creation of the new tiles also, like as per the business requirement, we have to map one new tiles as per their requirements.
So new tile
That will
creation is
also
very
explain.
easy. Even the user can also create new tiles. Okay, so that
Okay.
even that kind of personalization is there. So that is not difficult to create a new tile in the Fiori. So what happened, that first when you will need to install the Fiori, to install the Fiori, you need to do a lot of basis configurations. So basis team
Yes,
need to
yes,
make sure
yes.
to do configure all of the things and make Fiori ready so that the launch pad or the designer pad works for you. Okay, if you go into the system, you see it here. Let me go into one of the system here. So here we will be having a two launch pad and the designer pad. So that I think it got hanged. Let me close it. So that initial configuration will be done by the basis team. But once the system is ready, then we show that what things we need to do. So a lot of configuration also we need to do it through the Fiori tiles. Let's say you talk about the BOP process, right? Back order processing, whatever the configurations are required, the basic configuration is you need to create segment and you need to create variants. For that, the Fiori tiles are there that we need to do, we need to configure. The standard basic part of Fiori, if you talk about, it's basically the creation of catalog and the business group. So that we cover that how to create a catalog. So to do that, we use this Launchpad Designer. Although Launchpad Designer, your technical Fiori team would be using a lot if you have a totally a new requirement, and for that new requirement, you need to create a new tile or new application. If that kind of thing is there, you need to have your UI5 and the Fiori consultants who would be doing it for you. You would be giving them a requirement. So here we will be covering if you want to create a new catalog or business group, how to do that. That part we will be doing it here with this Launchpad Designer. Is that answer your question? Okay, I hope is that answer your question. Let me quickly check. So I have a question whether the gateway basics of gateway system would be explained. I would be explaining the architecture of the Fiori, which includes, that there will be a gateway system. But handling and managing a gateway system is pure basis team part, which we don't cover. Making gateway ready for the Fiori is total a basis team part, which will not be covered in this training. Okay, so let me explain it here. So I will take 15 minutes more, and then I will again open the forum for the question and answers. Okay, and then we'll be closing this session here. So I will try to explain one of the topic, which is your Ddmrp. So to understand Ddmrp, the first thing we need to understand what is MRP, what MRP can does, and what MRP cannot does. Okay, then you will be able to appreciate the functionalities which is coming for Ddmrp. Ddmrp is very complex subject. When I have gone through initially 3 months back before doing a beta testing on Ddmrp, I tried to understand it. It took hard for me to understand the topic because in the different forums it's not explained in that easy way or manner. But I will try to explain it very easy way in 15 minutes. What is Ddmrp? So as I said that before we understand the Ddmrp, we need to understand what is MRP. MRP is Material Requirement Planning. What MRP does is basically MRP is the engine, okay, which take inputs of your all of your receipts. When we talk about receipts, it means that your purchase orders, purchase requisition, STOs, which is inbound, your planned orders, production orders. It takes all of this as a receipts. It takes the stocks, and it also takes your issues, what is going out from the system. That is your sales order, basically your plant independent requirements, or your STO, which is outbound. So once all of these things comes into the MRP engine runs. It compare stock versus issues versus receipts on a time frame. It's checked what is the available quantity, what is the material availability date. Okay, based on that, it compares your receipts versus stocks versus issues, and it do the net off of the stock. And finally, the results which come out from your MRP is shortages on a time frame. Your system will suggest you that there is a shortage on that date, and to cover that shortage, you need to create a purchase order, or purchase requisition will be coming. You need to create a stock transfer requisition, or if it is in-house production, you need to create a planned order. In short, what this is going to, or what this MRP is going to try to tell you, that at a given point of time, which material, what is the right material which is required, what is the right quantity in which that material is required, what is the right time for that material. So right material at right quantity at right time at right place also. Place means storage location, which storage location is required at right place. So these are the questions which MRP try to answer for you. Okay, so in these questions, when MRP give you a very good functionality to answer these questions, to make sure you have a right material at right quantity at right time in right place, there are a lot of questions which MRP cannot answer, which is required from a business. Okay, so some of the questions will be answered by Ddmrp. Some of the questions you will see that it can be answered by MRP Live. So what are those questions? The first question is that this engine is a static engine. Okay, your receipts are dynamic. Every second the receipts are changing, every second stocks are changing, every second issues are changes. But we said that at the night job run, we'll be running MRP only, some cases once in a day, some cases once in a week. I recently visited a couple of companies, they are doing once in a month. I really surprised. So so my stocks, receipts and issues are changing in every minute, every second. But this is a static engine. Okay, if these things are dynamic, this engine should also be keep on running to give me keep on output of my shortages. So this is a static engine. So every time you look at the results of MRP, it's not a live results. That is one of the questions which MRP right now doesn't answer, because of the performance issues we cannot run it on a regular basis. So this question will be answered by your MRP live. MRP live is the answer for that. Another question which MRP doesn't answer is buffer quantities, buffer materials. MRP tells you that what is the right material, right quantity, but MRP doesn't tell you how much stock I need to maintain. How much stock I need to maintain to make sure the material is always available. MRP doesn't tell us that how much stock need to be maintained, how much buffer need to be maintained. Okay, so that is the question is not answered from MRP, which Ddmrp will try to answer. Okay, so Ddmrp, now coming to Ddmrp, what is a Ddmrp? Ddmrp is a demand driven MRP, which doesn't mean that it is a make to order kind of planning. Actually, Ddmrp suggests that what are your material in your supply chain for which you should maintain some buffer, and how much should be your buffer quantity. Now to explain Ddmrp, I will go one step ahead of the MRP and I will try to explain the two strategies of MRP. So basically, generally we use this true strategy in MRP or MRP types. One is the PDMRP, second is the VBMRP. So let's try to first identify that what is the drawback in both kind of MRP type. So basically Ddmrp is nothing but a new MRP type, which we will call it as a D1. This is a new MRP type, which is Ddmrp. Okay, but why the new MRP type comes? Before that, we need to understand what is the issue with the current MRP types. PDMRP types basically works on your forecast based. So what happens is that you have a plan independent requirements, you have your sales orders and other things. System calculate everything. What is your plan independent requirement? Basically, your plan independent requirement is basically your forecast only. So based on the forecast, system try to identify that what is the material quantity required. But what is happening, you know that although we have advanced features with the forecast, but our forecast accuracy is still 60 to 80% is considered as a good forecast accuracy, or I can say the 80% is a good forecast accuracy. Most of the companies are between 60 to 80% of forecast accuracy. So where we have a big supply chains which have multiple materials in it as a BOM component, and the below materials basically it serves, let's say you talk about FMCG or any another, let's say a soap noodle will be used. If you see in the finished good, it will be used in the thousand of the materials. So what this PD is doing, this PD is calculating a dependent requirement for this material, which is basically in your use in the thousand of bombs. So these materials, when it is used thousand of the bombs, let's say you have an inaccuracy of 5%. Here you have a 2%, here you have a 10% of inaccuracy in forecast. What will happen due to that inaccuracy? This is called ripple effect. This is your inaccuracy at the higher level material. When it will go to the material which is at the bottom, the inaccuracy will multiply from 5 to 10 times. So if it is the positive side of inaccuracy, you will be having a very high stock for this material. So your inventory level will go up like anything for these materials. If it is a negative side, you will have a stock outs. You have a frequent stock out. If it is demand come more but you have planned for less, you will have a stock out. So that is a problem with PD, that we have a lot of either we have a stock outs or we have a high stocks. The PD is not able to manage these materials, which is continuously going to be used in the multiple materials. We said, okay, use VB for that. That is what the MRP consultant answer for these kind of material. Let's use VB. What we do in VB? VB is basically your reorder based planning, right? Where you will be managing your reorder based points and the safety stock points, and from there system will have your reorder point. So whenever it reach here, it gives the order, system plays order, and whenever by the time it reach at your safety stock level, system replenish it. That is your reorder point. So basically what we are doing, we are maintaining a stock. We are maintaining a buffer here in reorder based point. So someone can say that, okay, you say that Ddmrp will tell buffer maintenance, we all already have in MRP type VB. But Ddmrp is different. What is the still questions there which is not answered by VB? The first question is, for which material I need to maintain a MRP type which should be not a demand driven, which should be based on the replenishment. Which material? Second thing, this reorder point is static again. System doesn't calculate it. We need to put this reorder point. And our business is dynamic. It's keep on changing. The business we were doing 50 years ago is very different from now. Our requirements are keep on changing every day. Based on the different promotions, based on the different cycles, our consumptions are getting changed. So this reorder based is static. Third is, it's only based on the reorder point. If a big sales order come, what will happen? Your reorder point will still stay that I need a 500, although you have a sales order came up with the 5,000 quantity. So these are the questions which is still not answered by your MRP type VB. Now these questions are answered by Ddmrp. Now what Ddmrp do, I am explaining in very simple language. It's a improved version of VB. From VB they have created a D1 where this will not be a static. So let me highlight in the different color. This will not be static, this will be dynamic. Where system will calculate what should be your reorder point. And every day with the bad job, system will change your reorder points. So changing your reorder points means you are changing your buffer levels. So your buffer levels here will be dynamic with the Ddmrp. Dynamic buffer level. There are applications created which classify material. So this classify material application will help you to select material which should be right for Ddmrp. Not all of the materials are right materials. You need to select from the classification which are the right material for which you should go with Ddmrp. Third, you have seen that it's all based on the replenishment. But why it is called demand driven replenishment? Because it also take care of the spikes of the demand which is coming in future. System also takes care when it calculate the proposal quantity. Also it is based on the replenishment, but if it is a big spikes come, and that spikes also system dynamically calculate what should be the spike horizon and what should be your spike tolerance limit, which should be considered, that after that this is a big spike which need to be considered for the proposals. So that what the Ddmrp does, which MRP cannot do. That is, the very uh, very advanced and very much approved and very successful way of planning your materials with the concept of DDMRP. The concept doesn't come from SAP. DDMRP concept comes from a demand-driven institute. Demand-driven institute with another third party helps to develop this. Just give me a minute. Let me take this call. Just give me a minute. Hello. Sorry, I need to take that call. Sorry for that. So that's what I have explained that what DDMRP is doing. I will take 5 more minutes before I open again for the question and answers to show you that how in system we need to do that. So to do the DDMRP, so this is, I have explained very briefly. We explain in very detail. We need to go. So for DDMRP, the thing is it is launched in 1709 and there is no SPRO configuration has been provided. Instead of that, they have given some tables which we need to maintain it manually. So they are the 4 tables which we need to maintain manually. So these are the tables which we are going to maintain. First, we need to activate the DDMRP. Okay, it's already activated. So these are the all 4 tables we need to maintain it. So we will explain in detail that what are these tables, what configuration these tables has, which we need to activate it, and after that the demand driven planning would be activated. So once from SM30 we activate all of the tables, the next step for us would be going into the Fiori, and from Fiori, let me go again on the home page and show you here the demand driven applications which we need to do. Oh, it's already open, sorry. So here, these are the applications which we need to use it. So basically, you can see it here. I was talking about the classification, right? So that is the first step where we need to put a batch job, which will be doing a classification. Okay, from this step, we will be selecting our material. So material selection will happen from here, and we'll say that these material change from PD to D1 based on this classification results. This is another classification of the lead time. We do it from this application, and then we schedule a batch job to calculate the buffer proposals with this application. I'm not going in detail, just give you a glimpse at how these things will be happening. And then once everything is done, we'll be coming to this one. This is a very important one, to manage buffer and to adopt the buffers. Whether what system has given a result, we are okay with that, or if you want to manually change, we'll be able to do it from here. And these two are the reports given, analytical reports given to manage your DDMRP buffers. So this would be the important application. These all will be basically the batch job applications. So if you click on here, mass maintenance of product TD, you would be able to see that system has classified your products, which is low value indicator, or BOM usage is low, or lead time is short or long. Based on that, system has identified. So you can also put a filter here. Let's say you want to only check based on your variability. So variability high, you want to check what are your materials with variability high. I'm not going to explain here what is a variability. So you see that these are 3 materials. You said that, okay, 2 are with G1. This one also I want to maintain, it has a value high, variability high, so I should also maintain with D1. You can click it here. You can do the mass change and you can change from PD to D1 from here. So these applications are there, and then you have manage buffer levels. Let me select all to show you. So here system will be showing you the buffer level. So these all things is not possible from the your GUI screens. It's all possible within the Fiori. So here system will be showing that what buffer has been calculated. If you want to manually change it, you can change from here, from edit. And here system would be able to tell you that what are the buffer level calculated by system. This buffer is not adopted, so it is not showing here. Here it will be showing, because the data is not there in the system, so it show very less data, but based on this it shows that what is the consumption is going on. So this is the one application which help you to maintain your to adopt your buffer if you're okay with the buffer calculated by system. So for this, these are the buffer calculated by system. So there is no calculated buffers here, so we need to select one for which system has calculated any buffer. Let me try this one. So there are some buffer calculated, although there is no change. So let's check this material. So you'll be able to see that these are the buffer calculation done by system. So it shows in the different colors. So I will explain that what is your red zone, what is your yellow zone, and what is your green zone. So here system will be showing you a trend, how your buffers are changing. So this is, in brief, I have tried to explain. We spend almost 3 hours on this topic to explain you in detail that how the things is going to happen with the Ddmrp. But to just give you a glimpse that how the topics will be picked, how the explanation will be done, I have picked that topic. I will again open the forum to have questions. Whatever the questions you have, you can ask it now before we close the session. So you can raise your hand, and based on your hand raise, we'll again see that if you have any other questions, you can ask now. The next step from here would be that you need to contact me through the WhatsApp. If you have not noted down my WhatsApp number or my email address, I can show you again. This is my WhatsApp number, and this is my email address, paramsedi@gmail.com. You can contact me from here. The batch is starting very soon. It would be the next week we are starting the batch. So you can contact me now. I will be tell you what are the further details which we need to go through it, and then we can proceed ahead from there. Yeah, Rajesh, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself.
So I work as an MM consultant, and I'm in support role. As you're explaining about MRP type, and recently, I'm in S4 project right now. We had a go live on Jan, and after the MRP, how does reorder works, right? After some time, it starts to pick up. Though, so now the issues coming up. One of our known issue is reorder point planning was not considering batch expiration. So after the stock was empty in the location or the plant, it was looking for a reorder point, and it was not considering a batch expiration. It was one of the issue which we found for a particular material in recent our issues. I just want to make a note of it.
Yeah. Thank you for making a note of that. So I would also try to put some note. Even in the Ddmrp, we have, when we did the beta testing and given our results to MRP, we find it out that it is not we cannot change the MRP types from the application for the materials which is managed in a retail or fashion industry. And we also find it out Ddmrp, if it is maintained with the segments, we are not able to run the Ddmrp through from the MRP live. So these kind of things can be there. So these kind of things can be there, where basically the some things is not still supported. So these things you can also identify from S4 HANA also, that these functionality is not available. So that is another point, basically, that the business or the kind of hype which SAP has created, the business is thinking that if the S4 HANA is comes, all of their issues and problems are resolved. But that is not the right thing. That is not the right answer. There are a lot of developments you will also require to be done in SAP S4 HANA, because all of the issues and the concerns or the problems is not solved by SAP S4 HANA itself. For some kind of things we need to, like for these things which is not supported, we ended up doing the extra developments even in S4 HANA. To answer one of the question which is on the chat window, how much hands-on exercise we will have during the training. So we have a hands-on exercise which will be giving you. Let me show you some of the exercise from here. So once we cover the basic part, right, the first two basic topics which we had, it would be all on the system. So there are the exercises. So these are the exercise, step-by-step exercise which we have mentioned, which you need to go through. So we have a different exercise here we'll be sharing with you. There are some more exercise here. So these are for the demand driven config exercise, and this is for demand driven steps exercise for AATP. So these are the exercise which we'll be sharing with you, which will be, you need to do a hands-on on that. So once the basic part is covered, it's all on the system. I have another question. How from Ashpreet, how can we change PD to D1? So basically, to change from PD to D1, there is an application has been provided. Let me see if it's still open. It's not open. So the mass maintenance application is the application which we'll be using to change from PD to D1, although we can also do from MM02 transaction. So this is a mass maintenance of products. This application will be using to change from PD to D1. Okay, so I would again ask if you have anyone else has any questions. If there is any another question, you can ask me now before we close the session for today. I have a question from Shekhar. Which one is good to start basics first? So it depends, that if you are having some experience, even in the technical side, if you have worked some time on the logistics side, let's say you have worked on the material management side, you have worked, or you have any functional experience or any experience during your technical work on which module you have. So if you have for SD, MM, or PP, any one of the module which you have that experience, you should start from there. If it is totally nil, it totally depends on your interest. If you are interested in sales, okay, so you are totally technically, so you don't have any functional experience. So if you don't have any functional experience, MM is good to start with. MM is good to start with if you start with your basics. I have a question that changing MRP type PD to D1, is there any prerequisite? Will it have any impact? So basically what SAP has done, SAP has not restricted us, or even the demand driven institute doesn't restrict us. It says that we need to define our own way that which material should be changed. So the classification will help us to change the material. from PD to D1 or ND to D1 or VB to D1. So based on the classification, we need to make sure that we write based on our business, we write our own logic that based on what classification components we need to tell that this is my material which need to be planned as a D1. Changing from PD to D1, you can change it anytime from MM02. It will have impact once you run the batch jobs. So there is a schedule lead, there is this batch job, right? So after you run this batch job, which is schedule buffer proposal calculation, you adopt the buffer proposals and then you run your MRP run. Then impact will come into the system. We'll have a detailed discussion on that once we go into the sessions. Okay, so if you don't have any further question, we can end our demo session here for today. If no one has any question, if you still feel that there is some question which is not answered, maybe you have written on the chat window, I'm not able to see it or I have missed it. I will again take a pause. You can raise your hand. I can answer them and then we can close this session for today.
Well, thank you. It was a nice session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you, Parminder. It's nice one.
I have a question from Shekhar. Hands-on experience required for MM means you should have that much of hands-on experience to do some transaction or something else. Yeah, that much of hands-on experience you should be having. Yes, Shyam, do you have any question?
Yeah, will you be sharing this demo recording link with us?
Yes, demo recording link I will share with you. If someone of your colleagues, if they are not able to join this demo, you can forward it to them.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Jay, do you have any question?
Yes, Parminder. So you mentioned like as with the HANA, like most of the functionalities will be moving to IBP as far as the demand planning and SNP is concerned. So is SAP is going to stop the development on the ECC functionalities like SNOP and long-term planning, or those will be like advanced planning that I can get in IBP?
Yeah, so SAP has already stopped doing any investment on S&OP, which is there in ECC side. They have already stopped. In SAP S4 HANA, the S&OP component is available, but SAP is SAP saying that highly don't use those components because that is not considered as a future technology. So the investment has been stopped on this component long back, and SAP is doing all of the investment on the DP side in IBP. So in future, S&OP can also be obsoleted from S4 HANA in future releases. But right now it is still available as a basic functionality. But SAP recommends to do IBP, and all of the new features functionality would be there in IBP.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Shyam, do you have another question? I can see Shyam and Rajesh, your hands are raised. Okay.
Nothing from my side. Sorry.
No, from my side.
Okay, then thank you everyone for joining this session. I would say this is a high time to go for these kind of delta trainings to update your skills, because we have seen that last year the market has started picking up for SAP S4 HANA. and this year it would again pick up, and the next year would be the very high time where the most of the people would be looking around for the resources who is having skills in SAP S4 HANA. Right now also there is a high demand in the market for the people who have a good knowledge on SAP S4 HANA things, how the project need to run and what kind of the delta things is coming, what are the new things, new feature come, how to activate them, or how it is benefit from the business. To answer those questions, there are very few people available. So it's good to get involved right now. You will be having benefits of early birds to get a good projects. Anyhow, any consultant who is working on ECC, it is must for you to upgrade your knowledge with the SAP S4 HANA and upgrade yourself with the Fiori user interface. So I wish you all of the best. I hope that we'll again connect to discuss it further, to go into further training sessions. So thank you for joining today's session, and we'll connect again in the training with you. Thank you. Bye bye for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Parminder. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.